Yo, what's going on? It's Caleb Sells. I'm here with another live video. I just received a wholesale order from one of my suppliers, and I've been having a little bit too much inventory for what I can list lately. So, what I asked from my wholesale connection is, can I buy the most expensive items that you have? I'm willing to pay up for the better items because I can get those items listed faster if it's less items. And typically, from my experience, those higher priced items usually sell a little bit faster just because they're more rare, a little more unique. And so that was kind of my thought process in paying up for this box. So I have the spreadsheet here in front of me. I think I paid $1,000 for everything in this box. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments down below if you would have paid $1,000 to for this box delivered to my door. If you're here live, say what's up in the chat. We'll be hanging out for a little while. If you're watching the replay, make sure you comment replay down below, and let's jump into it. So the first item, some things I might look and see what I paid exactly for a piece, just out of curiosity. But I bought $1,000. This whole thing cost $1,000. I think the average price that I paid was like 24 bucks, but I definitely paid up for some banger items, as you guys will see. So the first thing we have here are some fleece, Cabela's, tree bark, camo, Gore-Tex pants. A lot of keywords there. But these are Gore-Tex vintage made in USA Cabela's fleece, waterproof hunting pants. Pretty cool. A lot of these I did look up when I purchased them just because I was paying up for a lot of these. I want to say those were selling anywhere from like 30 to 50 bucks. Next up, we have an Eileen Fisher sweater. Has a little fun little collar on it. And this is 80% merino wool. 80% merino wool. I don't remember looking that one up. But Eileen Fisher and an upgraded material, definitely going to be solid piece. This one is called from a brand called Icelandica. Icelandica. I had never heard of it before, but as you can probably guess, it is kind of like one of those Norwegian style wool sweaters. Nice little Fair Isle print. Let's see what the material is. I mean, I'm sure it's wool, but maybe is it? Yeah, 100% wool. So yeah, cool piece. Does like have some like hairs hanging off of it. I don't know if that's even showing through on camera. But I think that's pretty standard for wool because it's tied into the fabric. Got some dust in my eye. Classic. If you're here live in the chat, say what's up. Let's hang out. Okay, this is a Patagonia chinchilla, but this is called the fish pattern because obviously you see these little fish in there. Do yourself a favor, go to eBay, type in Patagonia chinchilla fish. Definitely some high dollar sales. It does feel like the condition is slightly matted on this one, but I did get this for a really good price compared to the comps. I think I saw this exact one had like a 110 comp, $110 comp, but this one's not in perfect condition. I don't know. You can just tell when you feel it. It's just not exactly like pristine condition, but there's no like flaws or anything particularly wrong with it. Here we have an LL Bean chore jacket. This is a men's extra large, which is a really good size with the corduroy collar, your classic chore jacket. This one is in really nice condition, which normally I find these with stains all over them, so that's pretty nice. My jacket rack is like super full right now because it's summer and the jackets aren't selling as fast, so I'm gonna have to sell some of these jackets. Before I get too much further into the video, tomorrow I'm recording a video and doing something really crazy. I bought a bale of Patagonia and North Face. I think it's jackets. It said premium. So there will be jackets. I don't know if it's all jackets. I bought the bale tomorrow. I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to open the bale, wash all the pieces, process all the pieces, and run them all on Whatnot to see what I can make in one day. But if you want to come get some steals and deals on Patagonia and North Face items, check out my Whatnot show tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. The link is in the description down below, or if you're here live, I pin the comment. All right, next up we have some Polo Ralph Lauren, like heavy cargo shorts. I paid $5 for these in the wholesale. Same sellers you bought the 3D knit sweaters from? No, this is a like a personal connection that I made, not a like wholesale company. That was like the cheapest item that I picked up were those Polo cargos. Paid $5 for those. All right, we got some Rock Revival jeans here. These are the Wilder Slim Straight. Really heavy, I don't know what you'd call that. Heavy embellishments on the back there. They are really distressed on the front. Some of it's intentional for sure, but it also looks like there's a couple stains and stuff. But luckily, with the distressed style, I'm not too worried about the like condition as long as there's no crotch hole. Rock Revival Wilder is the model there. All right, what do we have here? Get some Rag & Bone men's chino pants. Rag & Bone men's chino pants. Probably not something I would be super stoked to find like out in the wild, but you know, if wholesale delivered to my door at the right price, I'm not going to complain. Does look like there's a little oil stain on that. It's a little bit of a bummer. It happens. We all miss stuff every now and then. All right. I got back-to-back really cool camo pieces. This is a Columbia camo vest, hunting vest. Let me look and see what this is called. This is called the Gallatin wool vest. Really cool. Vintage Columbia with the little shoulder shooting pads there. And then I got the jacket as well, the Gallatin jacket as well. Really cool piece. Both size XL, so probably from the same person. A nice heavy wool hunting winter jacket. Let's see what I paid for those. I'm curious. I paid $25 for the vest and $40 for the jacket. I think I saw comps over 100 on the jacket. Here we have a Marmot soft shell fleece line jacket, outerwear from Marmot. Always sells really well for me. I usually find it with company logos on it. No company logos on this one, so I can get a decent price for that one. Vintage Pendleton sweater. Vintage Pendleton sweater with the Southwestern Aztec print. I want to say there was like a small flaw with this one or something, but I can't remember. Also, it is cotton, not wool, which for Pendleton, you really want the wool stuff. But I think because that's such a good pattern, it'll be fine. What's up, Jay Boogie? You still listing jackets, puffers, and outerwear right now? If I have it, I'm listing it. If I have it, I'm listing it. RB says, need to learn more about these big brands like Columbia, Nike, Under Armour, Polo. So many unique items and higher end items that have good resale value. Yeah, absolutely. There's so many good items within those brands, but I pass on those brands way more than I pick them up. So you have to know what to pick up from those brands. But like I'm buying all this stuff wholesale, J Boogie. And so I'm going to get this stuff listed. Out of season stuff, what I'm doing is I'm actually listing it higher instead of lower to sell it fast. I'm listing it higher because like on some of these I'm paying up for them. So I kind of want them to sit around until like fall kicks around, because realistically like August and September people start buying jackets. So it's really not that far into the future. I got a Carhartt FR jacket. Does have a company logo there. Is this vintage? Yeah, vintage, made in USA. FRJ020. It's kind of like that full zip bomber style. So probably one that will sell pretty well just because the full zip bomber style is what the kids are into these days. It's got some distressing, but thankfully Carhartt, you can still sell those. What's going on, Chauncey? Thanks for being here. List and wait, don't wait to list. Yeah, if I had more inventory than I could list, I would prioritize summer items. But if I just need to list items, I'm just going to list what I have. Just going to list what I have. I got a Carhartt 2XL flannel. Yeah, summer does go by quick. I don't want it to go by too quick because I want to enjoy it. But at the same time, my business definitely thrives with those colder months. So I guess when it comes, I'll be ready for it. And I got a size XL Carhartt flannel as well. So back-to-back Carhartt flannels there. Honestly, not the best items this time of year, like a Carhartt flannel. Like a jacket can still sell just because it has so much value. So probably going to have to sit on those for a little while. But once again, I'm getting the stuff delivered to my door. How picky are you going to be? How much are you going to complain about getting the stuff delivered to your door? This is LBX Binter Defense OCP camo pants. Not really super knowledgeable when it comes to military stuff, but my guy is. So glad he included that for me. I did look like I said, a lot of this stuff up or the stuff I wasn't sure about up, and that was a really good selling item. So, okay, I got a banger. Here. This is a vintage, made in USA, 100% virgin wool, Filson vest. It's black. The color black on the camera just makes the camera go wonky, but we got the Filson vest, black Mackinaw wool. Really cool piece. Filson has a soft spot in my heart for sure. What's going on, Carrie? All right, got some vintage Lee jeans. I honestly don't know much about vintage Lee. I'm not even going to say if those are good or bad. I think that I only paid like $5 for those. So when you're doing $1,000 deal, I'm not going to like nitpick a $5 item. I'm just going to pay the $5 and enjoy my profit on the Carhartt jacket. If that makes sense. I'm trying to be a good customer so that I get a good wholesaler. As you'll see, the stuff in here is really good. So that's kind of why. All right, this is a polo golf jacket, but it's shedding some of the inner lining, so it's kind of making a mess. So I'm going to keep that over here. A polo golf windbreaker. These actually are pretty decent sellers for me, these vintage polo golf windbreakers. I will probably have to, like, maybe if I ran that through the wash, like everything loose would shake out. Okay, this is a pretty cool piece. A Burberry waxed canvas jacket with the tartan plaid lining. You can smell the oil finish on it. Made in England, Burberry, with the Nova check lining, waxed material. Really cool piece. I'm kind of curious what I paid for that. Definitely has like a distressed look, but from my experience, anytime I've sold a waxed item, it kind of gets those lines on it because where it folds, like it pushes the oil finish out, so it's going to be lighter in the fold. Let's see, what did I pay for that? I'm curious. Burberry. I paid 65 for that. So I comped that when I bought it, but I don't remember. I'm sure that's over $100. Got some vintage orange tabs. It is missing the little patch there. Vintage orange tabs. Let's see if I can date these real quick. These are size 36-32, made in USA. They're 506 cut, which I think is straight leg from 89. So 80s Levi's orange tabs. I just sold a pair for 45 or 50 bucks. Little tear in the pocket. Some not ideal distressing with those marks, like not an even fade, but they're 80s Levi's, so I'm not going to complain. I got Patagonia, vintage Patagonia vest. Vintage Patagonia vest. This is like a nylon windbreaker material on the outside, and then it's fleece lined on the inside. Let's see if it has that older style tag somewhere still. Yeah, it does. So it has that older tag. And 97. So 90s, vintage 90s Patagonia vest, style 28501. I don't know if they still use that style code or not. But either way, I'm glad it's 90s because then I can put vintage 90s Patagonia in the title. That's going to get some extra clicks for sure. I got a vintage Polo Ralph Lauren crew neck sweatshirt with a nice even fade on it. Might even try this one on for myself. Really cool. Slightly distressed, faded out Polo Ralph Lauren. The basic sweatshirts and stuff from Polo Ralph Lauren sell so well for me. I was just thrifting this morning. I paid $15 for a full zip because they sell so fast for good money. Okay, next item is a banger. Another waxed item. Look how rigid they are. I can like hold them sideways. Waxed canvas. Any guesses? Can you see that on the button? Is that focused? We got some Filson, vintage Filson. The style is 67. These are the double tin cloth oiled finish. You can see like they're so it's like holding a piece of cardboard. It's crazy. But these have like that awesome look. The double tin cloth means that there's 2 layers of the canvas here. So very high quality, very rare. They have a button fly, which I've never seen that actually. So these might even be a more upgraded model than the last pair that I had. I just love the look of these. Like, look at how that's faded out on the bottom. Super cool. Super heavy too. I mean, those probably weigh like 5 pounds. All right, you ready for another? Another waxed canvas Filson jacket. This one is hunting style with the orange trim, the shooting pad. These huge buttons on the front. Look how big those buttons are. I don't know if that's going to show through on camera, but pants will cut off your circulation. Yeah, for sure. So it's size 42. Let's see, is there another tag in here? Yeah, there's another tag in here. Let's see if it has any more details. Okay, this one's even older because it doesn't have the website on there. Style 62B, made in USA, vintage. Has this little like inner pocket, like a button-up inner pocket on the back. Very unique piece. Very cool. As a reseller, you're lucky to find a couple of those. And yeah, grateful to have found a lot of Filson lately because that stuff is just easy to sell. All right, I got a vintage NASCAR jacket, Coca-Cola NASCAR jacket on the Chase Authentics tag. So you're asking me if I'm listing jackets. Well, I got to list jackets because when you spend $1,000 on expensive jackets, you got to list them. And here is the vintage Bud King of Beers suede jacket. I think this is a, Jeff Hamilton one. So these ones sell for more. Listings for $300 on the Filson jacket. Yeah, let's see what I paid. Filson jacket, I paid $125. I paid $125 for the jacket. I got a Carhartt jacket here. This is a J205. I don't know what model that is. J205 with the full zip and the Sherpa lining. It does have the detachable hood as well, which does add some value. Hey, that's a fun one. Really nice even fade on the black on that, which really can make the difference when you're selling those vintage Carhartt pieces, having a nice even fade. Got some vintage Gramici shorts. Vintage Gramici climbing shorts. Little sleeper item, by the way. If you find the vintage ones. Made in USA. They have some that aren't worth a ton, but I think these ones, when I looked them up, it was like maybe 40? Maybe 40 bucks? I could be wrong. Okay, the next thing I see is an absolute banger. I gotta save it. I gotta save that for last. Okay. This is also a banger. You'd make a killing at an LA flea market. Yeah. Golden Bear jacket. Hey Carrie, if you're comping stuff right now, go type in Golden Bear jacket. This one's not made in USA. The ones made in USA are like crazy, but type in vintage Golden Bear jacket. This is like a suede, probably faux suede. Does have a little bit of distressing on it. If you're on your computer or after this video, type in Golden Bear jacket. Some crazy stuff out there. I got a waxed canvas Mavi jacket. Daniel says, I found 3 Roback shirts over the weekend and sold them within 1 day from 60 to 85. Hey, that's amazing. I love selling that brand. It sells so fast. I got a Mavi waxed canvas jacket. I forget what I paid for that. I don't think I paid up for it too much. I mean, that's a really, honestly, unique piece. I wouldn't expect from that brand, but I'm not going to complain about a really high quality jacket like that. Let's see. What did I pay for that? $12.50. $12.50. Another polo piece here. This one is the heavyweight full zip. Suede bomber version recently sold for $125. Yeah. This is a Polo Ralph Lauren size medium, just with the full zip hoodie. It's modern, not vintage, but they still sell so well. Still sell so well. I only know of Mavi jeans, which I have a couple pair. Yeah, they're more known for their jeans. That's why the jacket is kind of random. But sometimes finding an item from a brand that's not their normal, there's less of a market or less of like a. They're less saturated on eBay, so hopefully that will help me out and not do the opposite. Of course. This is a Wolverine canvas vest, Sherpa lined. Nothing too crazy here. with some marks and distressing on it, but luckily it's, one of those workwear kind of brands, par for the course. Okay, here's some Arc'teryx pants. Arc'teryx pants. Let's see what the model name is. These are men's 32, size 32. These are the Sullivan pants. Sullivan pants. They do have some distressing on them, but they look really high quality. They have like a patch pocket on the front. Very cool patch pocket. Let's see, what did I pay for the Arc'teryx pants? I paid $25 for the Arc'teryx pants. I don't remember what they go for. Got some Polo Ralph Lauren shorts. These are size 3XB. And these are Polo Bear shorts. So they got the Polo Bear surfing and the Hula Girl Hawaiian style 3XB. 50 to 65 for the Arc'teryx pants. Yeah. I'm fine paying 25 to sell for 60 when it's Arc'teryx and it will sell like super fast. No complaints on my end. A little bit of schmutz on those polo shorts, so they'll have to go through the wash. Okay, another really cool item here. This is a Birdwell Beach Breeches cable knit sweater. It's got this little like twin tipped stripe on the sleeve. 55% merino wool. Really cool piece. Sonny, I sell on Whatnot and on eBay. These are all things I'm going to sell on eBay because I'm paying up for them because they're very premium items. But I actually am going to be selling an entire bale of Patagonia and North Face tomorrow on my Whatnot stream. So go give it a follow. It's in the pinned comment in the chat or in the link in the description down below. Last item that I'm saving for last is a crazy polo piece. So if you're into Polo Ralph Lauren, you got to stick around. I got some 7 bootcut jeans. 7 bootcut jeans. They're new at tags. So bootcut and new at tags, that really helps those. I don't pick up too many 7 jeans right now, but bootcut and new at tags, I'd definitely grab those. Are you moving away from traditional sourcing and going to be buying more from wholesale, or are you just trying to add more volume? A lot more of your videos recently have been bulk buys. Well, the bulk buys, I buy them when they come up. And luckily, I have a really good thing going with this particular wholesale connection from the stuff that you're seeing right now. And so I'm trying to be the best buyer possible and buy as much as I possibly can. If this makes sense, if you have a good wholesale connection, but I don't buy everything that they have, they're going to be looking for other buyers. But if I can buy as much as possible, then they're not going to need other buyers. So I can keep getting the best items from that person. So I want to be the best customer I possibly can be. So I'm trying to buy as much as I can. And it's getting delivered to my door. So this time that I'm saving, I'm also having to factor that in. Like, yeah, I'm paying up more than I would probably see these at the thrift store. And at my thrift store, they price things up too. So it's honestly somewhat comparable. I'd say I probably pay like 5 to 10% more, and it's delivered to my door. No effort. We have a great working relationship going, and I'm trying to buy as much as possible. I still source every single week. And if I get more inventory than I can handle, that's going to be a good problem to have. So it's kind of how I'm viewing it. All right, a couple pair of jeans here. We got some vintage Wranglers. Vintage Wranglers, a little bit of damage to that patch. But they are made in USA with a 36-inch inseam. So really nice cowboy cut vintage Wranglers. These look like vintage Levi's. Yeah, vintage 501 made in USA. I think he said the size tag was cut, so I can't get the exact date. but probably 90s. But black 501s in a 3032, that's like an amazing size. I might list those super high. I might list them crazy high and just wait because 3032 is like one of the best sizes you can get for vintage Levi's. How do you decide what to sell on Whatnot and what on eBay? Right now, I'm working on finding more consignment clients to sell on Whatnot so that I can keep putting everything I source on eBay. But I'm still building up my client list for consignment. If you're interested, send me a DM on Instagram. I'm working on it, making it more of a process rather than just a verbal agreement between a few people. The stuff that I sell on Whatnot is stuff that I find that is wildly underpriced. If I find something at the thrift store that they completely miss it and I'm paying $5-6 and it's a really, really good item, I'll sell it on Whatnot because I know I'm going to make profit on it. But honestly, I pay too much for most of my inventory to run it on Whatnot and be profitable. So I'm trying to basically figure out more ways to get cheaper inventory that's still good because I don't want to sell junk, but cheaper inventory that's good to bring to you guys on Whatnot. Trying to connect with people that source at the bins, that kind of stuff. 7 for Mankind need to make wide leg jeans, but I guess they're not jumping on that wagon. Do they not make wide leg jeans? Is bootcut not wide enough? I get that. Got to make sure the person you're buying from is winning too. Exactly. If that person's winning, then I'm going to keep being the person that they want to sell to. And that is the key right now, because now that I'm getting these wholesale packages, once a week or so, it'd be hard for me to give it up at this point already. And it's only been I would say a month and a half or 2 months of working together. So I got some DeWalt Sullivan pants, I think they're called. Madison pants. DeWalt Madison pants, new at tags. Honestly, not something I really look for at the thrift store, but if it was new at tags, I'd definitely look them up. And they actually sell pretty well. Really good size of 34 by 33 as well. Boot cut not wide enough, and boot cut usually make it lower waisted. Yeah, that's true. Do you shop at the bins? I do not personally shop at the bins, no. All right, last item. If you're into Polo Ralph Lauren, you're in for a treat. We have a Polo Ralph Lauren high-tech jacket. This thing is so cool. Got all the extra little pockets on it. Lots of cool details. It's got tape seams on the inside, so it's waterproof. If you see anything Polo high-tech, it's worth a lot of money. This is a crazy piece. Shout out to my guy for throwing this in with the bundle. This is Polo Ralph Lauren size medium. I couldn't find any comps in this colorway or any listed in this colorway. So I'm about to list that thing high and let it fly. I paid $105 in the wholesale deal for that. $105 for that piece. But that is just like a once in a long while item. Yeah, really good size. I'm listing that thing high. I think I saw the comps in the red colorway of 200. I'm probably listing that one at 300, 350. I don't really know what the retail price is, but I'm going to shoot for the stars because that is a killer piece. If you guys are here live, make sure you put your questions in the chat because that was the last item in the wholesale box. Would you have paid $1,000 for all those items? Let me know in the chat or let me know in the comments down below if you're watching the replay. Thanks for checking it out either way. So let's look at some of the prices that I paid. Was that everything? Okay. So on that Birdwell Beach Britches, I paid $35 for that. Paid $15 for the full zip hoodie. Just so you guys can get an idea of what I'm paying. So I'm paying more than I would say most people would probably pay. If they saw that at the thrift store, they saw the Polo Ralph Lauren hoodie for $15. I would say most people are probably passing on that. Would you pick that up for $15? like the full zip Polo Ralph Lauren hoodie, or 35 for that Birdwell Beach Breeches sweater. Trying to look and see if there's anything that I paid a lot for that didn't come up. Got the Carhartt jacket for 25. I feel like it's a really good price for a Carhartt jacket. Did pay up on the NASCAR jackets. The comps on the NASCAR jackets were kind of all over the place. So that was probably the most risky item that I bought. Those Filson items, I mean, I paid up for them. I paid, let's see, 55 for the pants and 125 for the jacket. So, I mean, I'm definitely making money and selling those things fast. So, convenience and not having to get in a car and find it. Exactly. And then I'm still sourcing on top of that myself. And so I'm really able to maximize my time, really thinking about what the next gear is for my business. I mean, Whatnot has been really awesome so far. So I definitely am going to keep trying to figure that thing out, and keep growing that. And hey, if I can grow it so that I can sell these items on Whatnot profitably, paying these prices, even if it's not, making what I'd make on eBay, I'm okay with that. I'm in the business of making the most money per hour that I can. That's my goal. As a small business owner, I want more time with my family. I want more time with my wife. I want more time with my kids. I want to go golfing. I want to invest in other people, in my friendships, in my relationships. Have more time to tell people about Jesus, all that fun stuff. Um, I can't do that if I'm working myself crazy. So that's my goal. Denim Cells, howdy. Can you give me some advice on how you set up shipping for Whatnot? Can't seem to get my head wrapped around it without uh, asking people for too much or having to pay out of my pocket. Yeah, so what I do, Denim, is I just put in the weight of what the items are, and then I let it automatically bundle their shipping, and they get to pay exactly what the shipping cost is. And that just is like the bottom line. You can set it up a different way, but like you said, it is going to come out of your profits at the end of the day. And I think the trick is that you have to sell items that are good enough where you can sell them for a profit with people paying the appropriate shipping. If I were to sell that Polo Ralph Lauren hoodie that I was talking about, that I paid $15 for it on Whatnot, it's going to charge them $9.21 to get that shipped. Now they could get free shipping for a couple items after that, but $9.21 is going to be added on to the amount that they're going to pay. So realistically, can I get $25? That's just to break even. If they paid $15 plus nine and some change plus tax to ship it, could I get $25 realistically for that? Because then, if say they're trying to flip it, maybe they can get $40 for it. I mean, most people are not going to spend 25 to sell something for $40, nor would I even necessarily recommend it. Now, if they were getting it for personal, they could get a great deal and buy it for, 25 plus that $10 shipping. But you kind of have to have that margin so that they're paying the shipping, but you're eating the shipping cost for what the full value of the item is, if that makes sense. Yes, weigh the items before the show. Now, if you do it long enough and if you're selling enough items, you can estimate. I don't weigh anything anymore. I just have sold literally 15,000 clothing items. So I know, well, probably more than that now. I just know what things weigh. And if I'm in doubt, I round up to the nearest thing. Yeah, Chris, thank you. A lot of people aren't willing to ask for a lower price at the thrift too. I realize if you ask a manager for a low but fair price, they're almost always obliged. Yeah, if you go to a place that really prices things up, I don't think you could do that on the day it goes out. But these places that price things up, they have a system and they probably put the date that it goes out on the tag somewhere or have a system for keeping track of that. If it's been out for 4 weeks and nobody's bought it, I'll definitely take it up and say, hey, would you do $20 on this instead of 35 or whatever? It's a good point. I still cannot believe people can still make money when a lot of pieces on Whatnot sell for $4 to $5. Well, think about it this way. If you paid $1 per item and you sold it for $5, let's just do a little math here. Let me pull up my calculator app. If you sold it for $5, you would subtract 30 cents. So subtract 0.3. Then you would times 0.87, or really 0.88 because it's 11 point something percent. We'll just do 0.87 for easier math. We're talking cents here. So you're getting back $4.89 after fees on a $5 sale. And you subtract $1 for your cost of goods, you're making $3.09. So let's just call it you're making $3 per item. But using my own example, if you can source the items effectively or get them shipped to you, you have little time in sourcing. Now, as far as running the show, like my show, I usually run about 75 items in an hour, and it takes me about the same amount of time to ship as it does to run the show. So 75 items in 2 hours. Let's just call it 60 items in 2 hours. That's an item per minute. Wait, per 2 minutes. An item per 2 minutes. So if I have 2 minutes into the item, I make $3 on that item. 2 minutes, there's 30 2-minute periods. Sorry, this is getting really complex. There's a way easier way to explain this, but my brain is just not working right now. I got dad brain up in the middle of the night brain. 30 2-minute periods in an hour. So if I'm making $3, 30 times in an hour, 3 times 30 is $90 an hour. So if you can do that for 40 hours a week, that's $3,600 a week. If you could do that for 50 weeks, give yourself 2 weeks of vacation, that's $180,000 profit per year, making $3 per item. Now, hopefully, mixed in with those $5 sales, you get a $15 sale or a $20 sale every now and then. But that's what's crazy about Whatnot is if you really look at what you're making per minute or per hour or per item within an hour, that's where the numbers can get crazy because you don't need to make a lot of money per item if you can sell a ton of items and get them cheap. Now, if I sold all this stuff on Whatnot, I would be fighting to break even because I paid up for it. But if I found all this stuff myself at the thrift store and some of it was from the bins and got it for great deals, caught the thrift slipping, and I just fired all this on Whatnot, it would probably sell for about what I paid for it, is what I would guess. A little bit more than what I paid would be my guess. But how many items was that? Let's just say it was 50 items. Well, how many would it be? 50 times 25. I don't know. Let's just say it was 50 items. That would only take me about an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes to do it. If I made a few $100, still over $100 an hour. That's my goal on Whatnot. I will do it if I'm making $100 per hour. That's my goal when I'm selling on Whatnot. We'll see if it works tomorrow with the Patagonia and North Face bail. So far, I have 0 hours into it. I just ordered the bail, but I'm going to wake up early, process the bail, and document how much time I have actually into it and what I actually make, and see what I made per hour for the full day, and see what works up. Amen, brother. Thanks, Chemo. Yeah, weigh the items before the show or use your experience to put in the correct weight or at least estimate the best you can. Wax stuff is great. Yeah, that stuff's going to sell great. Solid numbers. Yeah, it adds up so fast. If you can do it for 40 hours a week. Most people can't do it for 40 hours a week because it's hard to find that many items. Look at Chris at Flip the World. Like, he has basically unlimited inventory at the bins or the rag house or wherever he's sourcing. He's probably paying less than $1 per item. If you say you're using the $1.89 Goodwill bins per pound, like if you sell a t-shirt, that's like 60 cents. If you sell it for $5, you're making $4. And he's live for 3-4 hours. Whatnot convenience is no photos and no listings, less profit, but more volume, and not having to store it. Yeah, not having to store it is a huge thing that people underestimate. Like, if I could sell every single thing that I sourced today, my life would be so much easier. I would never have to go to my storage unit. Patagonia, you speak in my language now. Yeah. Hey, Redesign Life. If you don't shop on Whatnot currently, use the link in the description to sign up and come to my show tomorrow. I bought a bale of Patagonia and North Face items, so 100 pounds wrapped in like plastic and strapped together, shipped to me, 100 pounds of it. I'm going to sell all 100 pounds on Whatnot tomorrow. Sure beats taking pictures and listing on eBay. While the profit isn't high, you get more time. Yeah, for sure, Chris. You know what I'm talking about. What time is your show? 2 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully I can get everything washed and processed by 2 p.m. That's going to be a tight deadline, but we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. All right. Thank you so much for everybody that hung out and chatted. If you watched the replay, thanks for hanging along with me too. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of those banger items that I was willing to pay up on. And we will talk to you guys soon. See you in the next one. Peace out.